Hello and thanks for joining me for another ball review. This one is for the Roto Grip Halo Pearl. I have a new test layout, 45 by 5 by 70, which puts the pin below my bridge and kicks the PSA out quite a bit. This will likely be my test layout going forward. I found that pin down layouts create more control and a rounder shape for me at the break point. Now first the technical stuff. It has the same Centrum core from the original Halo, but just like they did with the different cover formulas on the Idle and Idle Pearl, the Halo Pearl features the E-Tracks cover like the Idle Pearl instead of Micro Tracks like the Halo and the Idle. Wildly different covers. Micro Tracks is early and smooth, E-Tracks is clean and sharp. Where the Halo and Idle don't exactly feel like asymmetric and symmetric versions of each other, the Halo Pearl does feel like an asym Idle Pearl. Same super easy length, but the Halo Pearl starts up a foot or two earlier and is even sharper on the back end. As you can see, it took me a handful of shots to trust it. The Idle Pearl is rounder down lane, and the Halo Pearl reminds me of the Halo, but isn't as straight off the end of the pattern. I just filmed the Idle Pearl before I switched to this one and found out rather quickly that the Halo Pearl is one of those universal league killers, much like the Idle Pearl. It's just supercharged. It really flies at the second center once we get there. Now, something I'd like to point out too is that all the shots in my last several videos have been sequential. I'm not cutting out bad shots or editing out all the misses to make it look pretty. I've actually cut out several redundant strikes or good shots for time's sake, so no hype train, no narrative construction. It's a straight look at the reaction I'm getting and the adjustments I'm making to attempt to play second, third, and then fourth arrow to give you as well-rounded of a look as possible at the ball reaction so that you can get a good idea about what to expect it to do for you. Now, at first, I kept pitching it too far to the right to the friction, which wasn't the intent. I mean, it's pretty strong on friction, so obviously that didn't work. It doesn't need much friction to get moving. Now, once I got in and gave it some room, it was free length and a big move down lane. It's pretty easy and quick to film at both centers, and probably the most fun I've had filming in a while. Now, one other thing to consider is that it shares some similarity with the Intense Fire. It's a couple boards stronger and a little quicker off the spot, but if you already have a Fire, you could see some overlap there. I think the majority of people will like it or love it. It's just a super simple and effective combination. Now, it's quite different from the No Rules Pearl, which was the last Pearl in the HP4 line. The NRP was definitely rounder and slower on friction. The Halo Pearl packs all its action to a much shorter window. Now, for all the pop on the back end, it's still very consistent. Now, usually the stronger on friction a ball gets, the more sensitive it is. The Halo Pearl isn't the Crux Prime by any means, but it still does control the lane well. I also have to correct some earlier comments I made in both the Hypercell Fused and Idle Pearl reviews. This is a much better cover than I thought initially. I don't typically like clean and flippy reactions. The sharpness forces me left, but then I have to really hit it to get it to read. Now, with the change in layouts, it's blended and slowed the back end reaction without them reading any sooner like they would do if I put surface on them. And now that I've built some trust, it's actually freed up my swing quite a bit. I had trouble with the Fused in my first Idle Pearl and decided I just didn't like the cover, but as I put games on the Idle Pearl, the cover broke in, got remarkably better, and with the layout adjustment on the new Idle Pearl and Halo Pearl, my opinion has changed completely. Now, moving to Gage, obviously it was going to get even sexier. Free length, free back end, all I really had to do was just dump it out there and let it work. I don't really have much more to say at this point. It's just about a perfect reaction for me. When you have a ball that's this easy down the lane, this strong on the back end, and isn't over-under, it just makes it hard to miss. I'd show more misses if I had them, but there just weren't that many to show. If you like the Idle Pearl, you'll like the Halo Pearl. If you like the Halo, you'll like the Halo Pearl. I'd actually be stunned if someone were to tell me they didn't like it. It just seems like one of those can't-miss type reactions. Now, some people don't like the factory shine on it, but this cover does take really well to surface adjustment, so if you want to knock it down to 3,000 or 4,000, it's going to look great with that too. Is it a must-have? No. Do you need to go buy one? No. But if you're in the market and you're looking for a complement to the Halo, this is the one to look at. If you like the Idle Pearl but want a little more strength or torque on the back end, this is the one to look at. I can't say enough about this one. I really like it. I don't think it's just a case of me matching up with something. I think most people will match up with it. It's super simple math. Like I said, the cover really likes surface too, so I just don't see how you could go wrong with it. Final verdict is that it's everything you could ask for in a house shot killer, and I'd expect to see it in play on longer, heavier sport patterns as a 2 or 3 ball after a couple games of transition. Thanks for watching. That'll be in the video.